Okay, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. His name is Kaptain Kanada. You can find him online through a variety of different libertarian columns. Kaptain Kanada, the microphone is yours.
I know it's a silly name, but I needed a pen name when I started writing libertarian columns online that would indicate A, that I was Canadian, and B, that I lived on a rock in the ocean. And it's spelt with K's in case you're interested in Googling my name to check out my hateful diatribes and rants. Captain with a K and Canada with a K. Some people get upset about that. They say you shouldn't spell it that way, but as a writer, I respect copyright, and if I spell it with C's, Marvel Comics will sue me. I was told once that you should start every public speech with a joke. Here's mine. Hi there, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you. It's a sick joke, but it's a joke. Besides, I tried the other one and never got a laugh. It was a priest, a minister, and a rabbi walk into a bar. The bartender comes over and says, "What is this, some kind of a joke?" See, didn't work. Okay. I write libertarian columns. I haven't done so for a few years because I basically said everything I have to say, so I'll repeat it here, but I won't say all of it all over again. Libertarianism is a simple philosophy of government. It is actually a philosophy of self-government. The basis of libertarianism is that you own you, not the state. That we are best when we govern ourselves, and that we don't need to be governed by others. People talked a lot today about various problems. I will tell you that a libertarian believes that the source of almost all of our problems is big government. The state is the source of our problems. It is never the solution to our problems. We are confronted with no problem which cannot be solved by people working freely, cooperatively, without coercion. Libertarianism states that coercion in all its forms is wrong, and if you look at how government operates, it's entirely based on coercion. For example, the three big problems we have, in my opinion, are, as humans on this planet, we have the problems of the ongoing, interminable imperial wars, we have economic crisis, and we have social problems, which I consider to be the major social problem to be police statism and nanny statism. Libertarianism states that all these things can be solved by simply getting government reduced to that little government which is necessary for the running of basic public services which cannot be provided by private means. 90% of all the government that we are confronted with, oppressed by, is not necessary. It is only there to oppress us and keep us down, to rob us. Government is in itself theft. I hear people, especially socialists, say things like, well, without the government, all the poor people would be left to starve, and unless you force people through the confiscation of their taxes to pay welfare to the helpless and the homeless and the downtrodden, they would all be left to starve. I look at the facts. The facts are that the average Canadian works 2/3 of the year to pay taxes of various kinds. The government takes approximately 2/3 of your money from you. With the 1/3 we have left, Canadians are amongst the most generous people on the planet per capita for giving to private, non-governmental charities. With what little we've got left, people give billions in charities every year in this country. So that's this concept that unless being forced, people would not assist one another is just government looking in the mirror as far as I'm concerned. The problem of wars will never be solved by getting the right people into government. And if you think so, you're deluded. Government itself is a source of war. The state is based on warfare. The state is based upon confiscation of wealth, from your taxes to the mineral wealth of Kosovo province of Serbia. A lot of people were told this is a humanitarian campaign to save the poor Albanians. There is a mining complex in Serbia called Trepča mining complex. It's the wealthiest mining complex in all of Europe. After Kosovo province was seized by NATO, guess who got control of that mining complex? It wasn't the Albanians, kids. It's an Anglo-American consortium. And I think a lot of people are aware that Afghanistan is not occupied because of any sort of humanitarian concerns. Bombing of wedding parties is generally not viewed as a humanitarian act. Afghanistan is occupied because of a desire to control pipelines, bringing natural gas and other resources from Central Asia through to coastlines where it can be exported. The economic crises with which we are faced are again caused by government. Government prints massive amounts of paper money to cover its debt it incurs in waging wars. The solution is again to get the government out of the economy. That's really pretty much what libertarianism says. We don't need police statism. We are not made safer by being harassed at the airports. We're not made safer by people hanging around the airports murdering Polish-speaking immigrants. We are not made safer by being robbed to pay for this sort of thing through the taxation, and taxation is theft. If I leave you with no other thought, taxation is theft. We don't need the government. You can do perfectly well without the government. People govern themselves perfectly well. What little government we need is simply to enforce freely agreed upon contracts. Any contractual obligation you enter into, you should honor. And to put people away who work on a basis of violence and coercion and fraud, in which case the occupants of that place could simply be locked into it, all those problems solved in once. Libertarians believe in peace, prosperity, and liberty. We are opposed to the welfare state, the warfare state. We are opposed to corporate welfare most of all. We are opposed to subsidizing the banksters, the war machine, and the police state. That's all I have to say. Thank you.